All right, so I'm walking down the street and I see this travel agency and it says go to any 3 cities in Europe out of this choice of 11, any 3 of them for the low price of whatever. And not to be outdone, the restaurant next door says, hey, choose any 3 menu items out of our choice of 11 and all for the low price of. Okay, well, now if me and a bunch of friends all decide to do this, if I go into the travel agency and I'm like, let's see, I want to go to Rome, and then follow that up with London, and then follow that up with Paris. And then my friend goes, actually, I was thinking Rome, followed by Paris, followed by London, and so on. I got a whole bunch of them on that page for you, but there's a bunch of different ways you could say there's 11 cities to choose from. We're only going to 3, and we're not even saying what order, we're not saying the same order as each other. So the travel agency, they got a book, let's see, flight to Rome, then another flight from Rome to London, and then another flight from London to Paris, and then another flight from Paris back here. Okay, that's not going to help them with this. Yeah, okay, you can fly to Rome. But then they got to figure out how to get from Rome to Paris to London, and London back here. So it's not the same vacation at all, and that travel agency's got to work that out. These are different from each other. They're different vacations from each other. So this is where we would say order matters. The order in which you said that matters to how the travel agency has to do it. They have to count those as separate sorts of things. They can't just kind of do wing it one time, and then that's going to be enough. Okay, and after we get all done with that, we go into the restaurant next door, and I'm like, I will have the burger and the fries and the shake. And my friend's like, you know what I was thinking? Well, yeah, the burger, of course. And let's see, the shake sounds good. And I tell you what, why don't we finish off with the fries? Now, when they come and give me my meal, they're just going to take that plate and they're just going to plunk it down in front of me. And my friend, they're going to take that plate and plunk it down in front of them. They didn't have to, it didn't matter what the order that you said them in. We're having exactly the same meal. Okay, they didn't have to work a different way to get that second meal than they did the first. So this is order doesn't matter. Okay, now on the notes page, I wrote down 6 different versions of doing these 3 cities. Never mind all the others that are in my list. I didn't even talk about what about people who want to go to Madrid. Just among the people who are doing this, there's like 6 different possible vacations. And here among the people who are doing this, if I'm not having like the cheeseburger or the onion rings or something, these people over here, they're all getting exactly the same meal. So these people are working 6 times as hard as these people are. So when I say how many different possible vacations could they come up with, this is going to have to be a bigger number than how many different meals are they going to possibly have to come up with. Okay, this is really a permutation. The word permutation matches up to order matters, and combination matches up to order doesn't matter. And generally when you're reading the problem, it'll tell you which one to use, because somewhere in there it'll say order matters or order doesn't matter. But it's a real life question of why it matters or why it doesn't matter. So they just either have to tell you or you have to be able to know that. Okay, now I got to use these numbers. I'll be able to tell this is different than the factorial questions because the factorial questions have just the one number. Arrange 7 cars, arrange 10 exam questions. There was only one number in that, but this has always got 3 out of 11, 3 out of 11. So that's when you're going to be using one or the other of these. But the big one, 11, NPR, 3, and a little 1 second. If you do it the other way around, your calculator's going to get upset with you. And then this is 11, NCR, 3. Okay, so I got my 2 numbers. I put the big one, the little one. I choose the N or the P or the C based on whether it says order matters or order doesn't matter. Okay, now I got to get that in my calculator. Luckily, I remember seeing NPR and NCR recently. Okay, it was math, PRB, and then choose the NPR or the NCR. So if I want to do this one, you got to put the number in first. It comes before the NPR. So I put in the 11, then I go math, PRB, NPR, 3. 990. There's 990 different possible vacations that people could come in there and ask for. That travel agency's got to have a lot of work to come up with all these different flight plans and stuff. All right, now let's try the restaurant. 11, math, PRB, NCR, 3. 165. Okay, they're not working nearly as hard. There's only 165 possible different meals because these two meals basically count as the same thing. So that's how you do these. If it's got two numbers, you got to decide whether order matters or order doesn't matter, and then choose NPR and NCR based on it. Big number first, little number second.